yawe. Radio Imanzi ijana gatanu n'igice kimwe FM.
We got you updated. This is Radio Imanzi News in English.
You are tuned to Radio Imanzi, broadcasting from Kigali. Here is the news in English brought to you by Fiona Umugano. Now the headlines. The Ministry of Health through Rwanda Biomedical Center has announced plans to significantly reduce deaths attributed to non-communicable diseases. Investors and tourism operators in Rwanda say they are ready to welcome and benefit from the Ironman triathlon race. Japan Minister for Gender Equality and Children's Issues says the country's record low birth rate is a national crisis. Welcome back. Now news in detail. The Rwanda Parliament has passed a bill to allow Rwanda to join the Digital Cooperation Organization. The organization is a Saudi initiative that brings together nations, businesses, civil society groups, and academic institutions to promote social prosperity through more inclusive participation and growth across the digital economy. It was established in November 2020 in Riyadh by senior government officials from Saudi Arabia, Jordan, Bahrain, Kuwait, and Pakistan. The parliamentary approval confirms Rwanda's approval to become the 8th member out of 9 officially approved members. The government, through Rwanda Basic Education Board, is set to promote over 12,000 best performing teachers from both primary and secondary level to head teachers. The move is aimed at boosting the career progression of teachers and also ensure competitiveness of heads of schools, which will have an impact on the quality of education offered. The best teachers will be selected from the 22,453 who sat for the exam between July 12th and 15th and were conducted from 24 sites all over the country. The best candidates will be distributed in public and government-aided pre-primary, primary and secondary schools across the country. Dion Mujenzi, the head of Teacher Development Management, Career Guidance and Counseling Department at Rwanda Education Board, said that recruiting new skillful teachers, leaders, is one of the ways to improve the quality education, because if you have enough, you can expect a productive education. According to the World Bank research conducted in 2019, school leadership accounts for up to 25% of students' learning achievements. However, according to the report conducted in Africa, school leadership level is often forgotten during education reforms in spite of the potential for impacting the success of students. In the ongoing job examinations for school leaders in Rwanda, teachers are examined on academic subjects but also crucial leadership skills, including teacher management and school management. The Ministry of Health through Rwanda Biomedical Center has announced plans to significantly reduce deaths attributed to non-communicable diseases by, among others, cutting the burden of cardiovascular disease in the country. This was revealed as government and stakeholders launched a mass campaign aimed at providing education and awareness of hypertension and decreasing the burden of cardiovascular disease. According to 2016 estimates from World Health Organization, non-communicable diseases accounted for 44% of total annual deaths in Rwanda, and according to an official from RBC, the plan is to reduce this to 25% by 2025. The campaign, dubbed Health Heart Africa, which was launched at Nyarugenge District Hospital, will be supported by Rwanda Biomedical Center in partnership with AstraZeneca and will be implemented by Program for Appropriate Technology in Health. Rwanda is the 8th country where the campaign has been launched, and the activity includes hundreds of Rwandans getting free screening for hypertension and diabetes. The National Institute of Statistics says this year's census will be different in that technology will be used more than in previous years, and the data collected will be used solely for national planning. Yusufu Murangwa, the agency's Director General, says that the equipment used by census clerks has already been delivered to each district, and that people should not be concerned about the information they will provide. The Minister of Local Government, Jean-Marie Vianney Gatabazi, asked local authorities to continue explaining the importance of the census to citizens as the date approaches. Moving on ahead to tourism sector, investors and tourism operators in Rwanda say they are ready to welcome and benefit from the Ironman 73 triathlon race. The Ironman Triathlon is one of long-distance triathlon competitions regarded as one of the most grueling one-day sports events in the world. The competition, which is said to take place on August 14th in Rubavu district, is expected to draw between 1,500 and 2,000 players from various nations across the world. The mayor of the Rubavu district, Ildefonse Kambogo, said that Rwanda hosting this competition is an opportunity to promote tourism because those who participate will have enough time to visit the attractions of Rubavu and the country in general. Participants will race 90 kilometers on bicycles, 21.1 kilometers on foot, and 1.9 kilometers in swimming. Hoteliers and business owners expressed their eagerness to welcome competition participants and provide them with the best service possible. According to the CEO of the Rwanda Convention Bureau, Neri Mukazayire, Rwanda's selection as the latest Ironman event location demonstrates how far the country has gone in establishing itself as a sporting mecca. Rwanda is the 4th destination in Africa to host the race after South Africa, Egypt and Morocco, and the first in Central and East Africa. People who own undeveloped plots in Karunji District's commercial center have said that they lack the funds to build the houses that are planned for the area where the plots are located. This comes after senators visited Karunji district and revealed that one of the major issues they discovered was a large number of undeveloped plots. There are 370 undeveloped plots of land in the Gishura sector where the commercial district of Karunji is located. The majority of these plots is near Lake Kivu and are designated for the construction of hotels, which some of the owners claim they lack the financial ability to do. The current district authorities say they intend to approach the plot owners and see what can be done to help them develop the plots in accordance with the master plan.
Economic news is a regular feature on Radio Imanzi.
Now the Rwanda Stock Exchange Market Report. The trading session recorded its turnover of 278,482,000 Rwandan francs worth of bonds traded in 4 deals on the fixed income market, while the equities market remained quiet. Viragua closed the counter at 160 Rwandan francs, Bank of Kigali at 265 Rwandan francs, I&M Bank at 43 Rwandan francs, M10 Rwanda at 177 Rwandan francs, Simergwa at 120 Rwandan francs, Equity Bank at 440 Rwandan francs, Kenya Commercial Bank at 370 Rwandan francs, National Media Group at 1,200 Rwandan francs, Uchumi Supermarket at 104 Rwandan francs, and R8 Buffalo closed the counter at 526 Rwandan francs as the market closed. The currency market review of today. The Kenyan shilling buying price was 8.5 Rwandan francs and the selling price was 8.7 Rwandan francs. Tanzanian shilling buying price was 0.43 and the selling price was 0.44. Burundian franc buying price was 0.49 and the selling price was 0.5. Ugandan shilling buying price was 0.26 and the selling price was 0.27. The US dollar buying price was 1,018 and the selling price was 1,038 Rwandan francs. The British pound buying price was 1,227 and the selling price was 1,251. The euro buying price was 1,033 and the selling price was 1,053.
Some items of international news on Radio Imanzi.
The World Health Organization has donated 2,400 monkeypox test kits to Uganda to help in its response against the spread of the infectious disease. The World Health Organization also accredited 3 labs, the Uganda Virus Research Institute, National Health Laboratory Services, and another under the U.S. Department of Defense to carry out the tests. To date, the country has carried out more than 70 tests for the monkeypox virus, and all have turned out negative, meaning the disease has not yet been detected in Uganda. Japan Minister for Gender Equality and Children's Issues says the country's record low birth rate is a national crisis. She blamed this on the indifference and ignorance in the male-dominated Japanese parliament. Seiko Noda said the steadily dwindling number of children born in Japan was an existential threat. The nation won't have enough troops, police or firefighters in coming decades if it continues. The number of newborns in Japan last year was a record low 810,000, down from 2.7 million just after the end of World War II. The minister said there are a variety of reasons for the low birth rate, including persistent gender bias and population decline in Japan. Japan is the world's 3rd biggest economy, a powerful democracy, but the government has struggled to make society more inclusive for children, women and minorities. There are deep concerns both within Japan and abroad about how the country will reverse what critics call a deep-seated history of male chauvinism that has contributed to the low birth rate. The gap between men and women in Japan is one of the world's worst. Because of outdated social and legal systems surrounding family issues, younger Japanese are increasingly reluctant to get married and have children, contributing to the low birth rate. The Minister for Gender has tried to address the problems by creating a new government agency dedicated to children, said to be launched next year. Egypt will help rebuild Somalia's education and support its security apparatus and economic development, President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi said when he hosted his Somali counterpart Hassan Sheikh Mohamud. The pledge came amid discussions on the Nile waters, specifically the continuing controversy surrounding Ethiopia's Grand Ethiopia Renaissance Dam on the Blue Nile. The Egyptian leader noted that President Mohamud opposes unilateral decisions on the use of the Nile waters. According to a statement from his palace, he and his guests stressed the necessity to reach a binding deal on the dam's filling and operation without delay based on the UNCC presidential statement in September 2021 in order to preserve regional security and stability. He was referring to the 2021 stand by the United Nations Security Council, which asked Ethiopia, Egypt, and Sudan to return to the negotiating table and agree on how the mega dam would work without hurting downstream countries. French President Emmanuel Macron has said the archives on French colonial rule in Cameroon would be opened in full and asked historians to shed light on the period. Speaking in the Cameroonian capital Yaoundé, French leader Macron said he wanted historians from both countries to work together on investigating the past and establish responsibilities. The French colonial authorities brutally repressed armed Cameroonian nationalists before the country's independence in 1960. Tens of thousands of supporters of the Union of the Peoples of Cameroon party, including independence leader Ruben Nyombe, were killed by the French army. The Cameroonian army under the country's first post-independence leader, Amadou Ahidjo, also slayed the Peoples of Cameroon party fighters. Former President François Hollande in 2015 conceded that France's colonial past in Cameroon brought tragic moments and said he was open to opening the archives. 9 people, including a senior local government official, were killed today in a suicide bombing in southern Somalia claimed by the Al-Shabaab jihadist group. The attack occurred outside the administration office in the town of Marka, where the district commissioner Abdullahi Ali Ahmed Wafu was speaking with local people. Al-Shabaab claimed responsibility in a brief statement, saying the martyrdom operation had targeted the commissioner. And with that, we come to the end of tonight's edition.